Council, all present. Let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. We ask you to bless this council and all the department heads as they make decisions regarding the city. Your word says that if we ask wisdom sincerely, that you will provide it. So we ask that and bless them. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, our first guest is Miss Richardson. If you'll come forward and give your name and address. Your reason.
My name is Geisha Richardson, and some of you may know me as Geisha Wilson. I live at 909 Parkview Street here in Cleveland, Mississippi. And my reason for
Have said,
okay.
make it all.
My reason for being here today is I'm having plumbing and sewer issues. I have spent out close to $7,000 having my kitchen rerouted. Every time it rains, I have anxiety. Every time I wash, I have anxiety. This water is bagging up in my house. I have had several plumbers out. I've had Walker, Rogers, Jones, Philip, Johnson, Moody from Rubel. And they're all telling me the same thing. There's nothing wrong with my plumbing.
Okay.
I don't know what to do. I went around in the community and talked to some of my neighbors. Some of them are having the same problem. I was surprised to hear that Miss Washington on the street behind me on Smith Cove is having the exact same problem I'm having, and she's adjacent to me. Miss Prescott, she's having some of the same issues. When it rains, she can't flush her toilet. When it rains in my ear, I can't flush my toilet when it's extensive. What is the city going to do? I've done all I can do as far as for my property.
Okay.
And the insurance will only cover so much.
Yeah, I've been honored if I defer.
I would like to do that.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say this to the board. I went over one day, I think.
It was on Saturday morning.
Talked to her and I did call her and for some reason she was having some severe problems, so I just let her play.
But it's not just me.
Right, we had a group last month. That we did the same thing.
I mean.
Part of it,
Oh, Parkway.
Parkway.
Okay, and you're a different street.
This is a different street.
Okay, I'm a
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Hunter, have you?
We haven't had any work orders on that street. I have my secretary go back and look.
Okay, have you?
What I
Cleaned out from
would
the front?
normally do until I found out who I really need to call, I will call McBride. From McBride, he will call
You
Robert
going
Sanders.
around the
Sometimes I will
world.
get in contact with Robert Sanders. I have called Marilyn, the young lady that works with the water department. Sometimes they will come out, sometimes they would not come out. The day that I talked to you, the last time I talked to Mr. Sanders, I called about 8 o'clock that morning. When I saw Public Works, it was dark. I had a plumber to come out there and unstop my drain. I had to pay him before Public Works
At the
got there.
street?
Behind my house.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, should have run behind.
okay, I got you.
We haven't had any issues on that side of part.
But I'm having issues. I have pictures where
Can
water
you
has
give
come.
him your,
I have
Hunter,
pictures
you got
where
a
water
card
has
where
come
you-
into the house. I have baseboards that are buckled, sheetrock that need to be replaced, and this has happened consistently.
I tell you what, you fix to have somebody come look at it that knows what they're looking at from the city standpoint. So you want to give her your number or how you want to do it?
That's fine. I can give her a number.
Okay.
But it seems like it's something major because I'm not the only somebody having the problem.
Well,
Miss Washington, the street.
Can I
behind
want to
us
ask
have
him a
no
question?
problem.
Where's the main line, Hunter, running that would service that street? If it's her street and the street behind her, is there a main line to servicing both? And Josh is shaking his head. You want to
Miss
explain that?
Washington's house.
we got an engineer here.
So that's,
Yeah,
that's just
All right,
on the other side of Martin Luther King's from the park views too, right?
That's correct. The sewer line in this area, it's in the rear east between your house and your neighbors on Smith Cove. The line runs in that area and runs west. If we can get your contact, Hunter, I want to reach out. We'll come back and figure this out.
Okay.
if there's anybody to do it though, too.
It's not on that line, it's.
No, it's not that one. It's some construction in the main that's routinely clogging up and causing backup. So we can get this figured.
We'll get you there.
Sure.
Now, this has been going on for a number of years. Now, you guys have been out there to blow it out 2 or 3 times.
Sure.
You may not have a work order, but it's been blown out 3 times on nobody's city. plumbers have come out there and blown it out as well.
We can get, what we'll do is, Hunter and I, we can get together, once we clean it out, if we find, an obstruction, we can camera it. We can
Okay,
get to
and
the-
I've had that done as well.
We can camera the main, we can get to
Okay.
the source of this issue and get the.
Okay.
So you need to give them your number, or they need to give
I'm
you.
gonna give you my
their-
card, and if you just would text me your number. we can reach out to you.
Thank you, man. Jason, for the record, I know, you've known Mr. McBride, he's gonna be leaving us at the end of this
Yeah,
year.
I do.
But you get my number, I represent that area, so. You put my number, I don't have a hidden number.
I have you. We have been contacting, I think, through your inbox. Okay, the number.
719-9906.
So Josh, you got a card with you together? Okay. That's somebody.
That's actually one of the neighbors too that's having trouble, Mr.
Okay.
Bell. He lives next door to Miss Washington.
Yes.
It's gotta be that line running between those houses.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Didn't know that bell was still kicking. Well, okay, time marches on. Okay, if you'll get that,
Thank you.
we will.
Okay, so if that doesn't work, what do I do then? Come back?
Why, we don't need.
They gonna make it work.
They're gonna make it work.
They gonna-
Okay, they're gonna
They
make
know
it
what to
work.
do.
Okay,
The rest of us just doing a bunch of talking about.
because I hate to make repairs and then it happen again. And it's been happening consistently, and that's just throwing money down the drain. And like I say, insurance will only pay for so much.
Well,
Let them fix it. Let them see if they can fix it
Yeah.
before you do any more.
Okay.
But we don't want you spending out any extra money.
Because when I tell you I've had anxiety with this stuff, and it has gone on for years.
Plumbing to give everybody anxiety.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson.
Okay, Roger Parker. Come on up and tell us what electrical situation we need to work on here. Huh?
It ain't a box full of money, but.
It's gonna take a lot of money to fill up that body.
All right, let's listen up here,
And I'm gonna stand up if you don't mind.
please, sir.
My name's Roger Parker with Robinson Electric. If you don't know me, most of you do know me. What I'm proposing is to replace all of the receptacles from Sunflower Road down to North Street. What you have there now is up on a little post. It's ground fault receptacles that only have 2 receptacles in it. And most of that wiring has been down. I worked for the city of Cleveland back in 1985, and I know it was down then. So I helped put a lot of it down. So what I'm proposing to do is replacing all the conduits in the ground, replacing all the wiring in the ground, upgrading the service on the far end, the north end of the road, and getting us more circuits because the city has added more Christmas lighting down there, and it's taking more to do what needs to be done. And plus, it's just outdated and it's old. And this box right here, this will mount in the ground. We will dig a 2x2 hole in the ground, and we will put 4 inches of sand below it and 4 inches of gravel below it. This will set in even with the ground. And you plug everything up in here, and then you come back and you close the cords into this right here. So you don't have all that sticking up out of the ground anymore. You can walk across it. It's not a trip hazard like the poles are. You don't have lawnmowers running into the poles and tearing things up. And us having to replace everything. So it can be locked. So
It needs to be.
the city will have to come unlock it if anybody wants to use it for Oktoberfest, Christmas lighting, or anything else.
Well, I think what started this was the Christmas light, the night of
Yeah.
the big event. It took a while to get it on, because from North Street back this way. Yeah,
Yeah, and that part has been down the
well,
line.
it's so low.
How many of this be required to fix it? And I didn't bring my paperwork. I think I've got.
It's uploaded in their Dropbox. There is.
And what are you increasing us to firewall? How much? Doubling the station?
12 circuits. Yeah, it's up to a 12 circuit, but it's, everything is gonna have its own circuits down for all this new equipment. Right now for the tree, we have a 40 amp circuit just for the tree that we redid last year. No,
No.
we don't. But it will handle, right now, you've only got, I think there's 4 receptacles that operate the whole green strip right there. And you're gonna have 12 receptacles out there.
If there's any maintenance required, can we do it or we need to keep that case or does it
No.
need anything?
We have, well, we have 1 year warranty on it. If anything happens to it, we'll fix anything, any problems. After that, the city can take care of any maintenance on it as far as changing the receptacle out if need to be changed out. But one of the problems that I think that they had before is everything is above ground. Everything had weatherproof covers on it, but your people that were using the receptacles like Oktoberfest and all, they were breaking all the weatherproof covers off. Water gets into the receptacle, so the receptacle's no good. Then they have to go back and spend $20 receptacle in their time.
Plus people were tripping on them all the time.
Right.
And getting stuff unplugged.
And I'm
when they
also
took them.
proposing to get where the line is right now, it's about 5 feet off of the walking trail where the receptacles are now. And I'm saying do them straight down the middle where the Christmas lighting goes and everything can plug in right there and you don't have doors running back up to the
Yeah.
walking trail.
Right.
For the trip.
Yeah.
Well, I know we've never put a number to it, but we all know what 50 Nights of Light does in terms of the economic benefit.
Yeah.
And so just out of curiosity, I knew what this was gonna cost because well, Michelle and I talked about it briefly last week. And, we had an economic impact study done on Oktoberfest. And Oktoberfest only lasts 2 days. And it had a positive economic impact on Cleveland, just in the sales tax revenue that comes back to us from out of town visitors of 21,000 and locally another 19. So it was $40,000 in those 2 days. This lasts for 50 nights. I mean, it's an economic benefit to us. So I make a motion that we accept this bid. Now, do we have to go any kind of process?
You have 2
I have
competitive
2
quotes,
quotes.
$250,000 that's
Okay.
been approved by the
Mhm.
city engineer.
Then I make a motion, we accept this bid and move forward.
And it is 12 units.
All right. The other thing, I met with Delta State today.
All in favor, say aye.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Was Danny the second?
Any ayes over there? Aye. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
And the other thing, I met with Delta State today to see if they could do an economic impact study on 50 Nights of Lights for us. And they're supposed to give us a proposal for doing that.
Okay, I appreciate y'all. It will take me, I'll order these tomorrow. It'll take 3 weeks to get these in. And then I'll get lined up with my boring guy. So probably, hopefully after this rainy season has gone by, we can get all this stuff in the ground. So we can get the grass back.
You just gotta get them in the ground by open house in November.
Roger, this might not fall in.
October,
in your deal.
set up lights.
We had one of our lights.
Oh, that's right.
knocked Out on the walking, that crosswalk, and we got a garbage bag on it now. Are you familiar with it? Have we reordered that light?
Glow, you would be, you still have 2 at the shop?
It comes from him. They have to get them made. I didn't know if we turned the order in yet.
Okay. Yeah,
Steve on
yes,
the
I'm
wire.
on that list, so
Okay.
me and Steve can get together and
Yeah,
get it taken care of.
Yeah.
okay.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you.
All right, public hearing.
Okay, long list, and we've got some 302 Cross Street, Mario V and Belinda Holmes, and they're requesting 30-day extension. 300 Cross Street, Amanda B. Thompson, no progress. 610 Hadley Street, Gilda Gunn and Leroy Hayes, no progress. 509 Cross Street, Ernestine C. Chase, no progress. Skipping down 12056 Avenue, Michael W. and Stacy Morse. 606 North Bow Avenue, Denise Grant requesting 30-day extension. A11 Harvard Street, Nash Charlotte, on requesting 30-day extension. 802 University Street, Brian J. and Courtney M. Ellis. 708 University Street, Adrian Kohler. 1304 Avery Street, Ricky Berryhill. 204 Roosevelt Street, LQ Thomas. 628 North Bayou Avenue, Andrea and Linda Harris. 652 North Bayou Avenue, Jordan Rental Properties LLC. Now, one of his is supposed to come off and he's requesting an extension on the other when we get to the end. You and Mr. Trotter. 602 North Bayou Avenue, Statesman Properties LLC. 512 North Bayou Avenue, again, Jordan Rental Properties. One of those is to come off and one of those is requesting an extension and they'll be addressed individually. 505 North Bayou Avenue, Margaret L. Williams, care of Robbie Melton, and they have also requested a 30-day extension. 604 North Bayou Avenue, Daniel Griffin, no Ken. 1606 Terrace Road, Charlene A. Robinson, 1011 Bayou Bend Avenue, Henry Scott. 1805 Southland Drive, Sabrina Wade. 1310 Alo Avenue, J.C. Tanner. 1318 Alo Avenue, Rosemary Jones. 1302 Alo Avenue, Rosemary Jones. 1505 South Chrisman, Yolanda Patterson. Getting to the end, 602 Lance Cove, that is Annie Bell Rogers. And 222 Delta Street, Lizzie Lawrence. Anybody else here besides Mr. Jordan to respond to those?
204 Roosevelt,
Okay. And which one of Mr. You said one of Mr. Jordan's names?
Anita said 512 North Bayou be removed. He and I met this afternoon, he's gonna buy and he's gonna contact contract, that he needs a 60-day extension.
Which one did you say, Danita, said could be removed?
512 North Bayou.
Okay, is it any other?
Any others that been said?
That's it.
Okay.
He cleaned it, but after I came and looked at it, it looks like it needs a mulching head. There's a fence, and from the fence to the rear of the next property, which is splits us, you think it's no man's land, but it's ours. And so it's underbrush that's grown up, and it just needs to be mulched.
So if I could, it would be in order for motion and second, keeping in mind what the list is with 30-day extension.
Make a motion with acceptance of, the most request.
I would make a motion. That's that. Ted second. All in favor, say aye.
Man, I just have a question.
Sure.
What's he doing? Is he on the one on South Bayou? Is he on the property on South Bayou?
You don't know all of them, some of them, not all, for a proper top five.
Okay.
A lot of them owned by different.
I don't know if it's some of yours, but I like to see if I identify yours since you're president. South Bayou has a problem. And what I mean by that is that those homes you be boarding up, if they're not boarded, and the fence, where you see people coming from the back, the rear, it's been trampled. So I'm just trying to see what can we do to handle it.
It may not be you.
Well, I mean, a lot of them are, and I've had this conversation with you before, the rent's not killing me not having anyone in it. If I can't fix it up right and nice, I'll keep it boarded up. But, that's like asking a thief to quit. I mean, they're gonna look for a place to stay, they're gonna break in, and, I can't afford to sit here with a night watchman every night. Now, Jimmy Easton lives right across the road. He's been working with us 20 years. And he watches most of it. But I don't know the answer.
Well, we're gonna work with you. I'm just saying, whatever you mean necessary, we can do. Work together.
Well, it's been, I think that a lot of the deterrent from my perspective is that during COVID, you had so many people renting. I mean, I've got several women that have rented from me, single moms, and they hadn't paid me rent in years. Now, fortunately, I'm too compassionate that I just don't go kick them out. And that's my stupidity. But I think since COVID is over and the ramp stuff is stopped, and then I've talked to people that are looking after my stuff to make sure that we just get them out and move forward, because even with Section 8, you couldn't, they'll tell you what a packet is, but once they get in there, they can change the rules and you're stuck with what you got. And so what do? Sue every one of them that, because they don't have a place to go, they're gonna look for another place to do it. So I don't have the answers, but I do know that ours is about to start getting attention because there's somebody that can pay the rent. During COVID, you just could not get anyone out. You were stuck.
Well, Billy, y'all are working together.
Yes.
Okay. All right, what else on this public hearing? Excuse me.
Hold on.
Oh,
Did you call it for a vote?
yes.
Yes, we voted.
Okay, all right, engineering.
I've got a couple of action items tonight. Y'all have my report with an update. If you have any questions on any of that, feel free to stop me at any time. First up, North Street, as you know, we're actually under construction. I think everyone got my schedule I sent out. I'll have a better update at your next board meeting regarding timeline and when we're getting to the highway. We're still a few weeks out in North Street. The next thing we are requesting permission to apply for the Mississippi State Department of Health request for ranking for a water project in the city of Cleveland. Hunters identified 3 areas of town that have major pressure problems due to severely undersized water lines. And I think you all have the maps, you know, I've had, I believe, the areas. So what we're wanting to do is get on the State Department of Health's list for an SRF. It's a loan, but now that due to essentially the amount of money they have now, they're changing the program up to do a grant loan instead of all alone. So we'd like, this is the very first step. We submit one 3-page document. They'll start considering us as this moves forward. We'll find out exactly what the grant portion will be. We then can go solicit other funding to try to match this project.
I think that's a good idea. You got a motion.
Yeah, maybe.
Bob's made a motion. Brian second. All in favor, say
Aye.
When is it time to?
It's slow. To be honest, you submit the request for ranking now, you find out something in the fall. If they deem you eligible, or if you rank high enough, given their budget, you then do an engineering report, a facilities plan. If everything goes well, you'd be on the list for funding sometime in early 24, mid 2024. Construction would be 2025. It's just like it's real similar to what we're doing at the wastewater treatment plant. It's a slow process, but I think this is this is a step in the right direction.
We want to get in line.
And all of these other projects that we're addressing.
And usually they don't give us anything.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so we
It's
want to get in line.
really hard to get a water project.
Right.
So I think this is a good program, and the budget is getting doubled from 50 million to 100 million. Well, I'm still saying, probably a pretty strong likelihood.
Anything else come my way in terms of
I sure hope so. I don't want to speak too soon, but any that I don't know. We should hear awards soon. So we'll see.
what things are coming up and it's gonna be basic appropriation this time. So it's not that much.
So we still have several. We still have about let's see, additional 3 million in pending requests right now at the state. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Can you get with Ms. Richardson?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. All right, then.
Yes, sir. Everybody you have before you, your consent agenda needs a motion and second to approve.
So move. Second.
Ted, Gary, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh,
Second thing, I previously memoed y'all, you know, down here, we did a leisure and recreation district that is just kind of facing the main street here. And what you do is you get all the alcohol licenses and you make sure everybody knows the regulations, you make sure that the police chief signs off on it. Well, we had that request to do the same thing out 8 West, but they're all one property. And they wanted to do what was called a something a little bit different that would be a resort status, but really and truly what they're wanting to do is the same thing as the leisure and recreation district. So we drafted up identical almost to what you did before. And basically it takes on their property, it lets their 7 licensed venues on their property be able to go from one building to the next, or be able to have outdoor functions as long as they stay on their property. And so that's there for you to approve by ordinance, just like.
And
just
it,
like the
and it's
old-
confined to that property. It doesn't
Yeah.
go across the highway.
Well, now that's our concern, and Chief's out there too, and we put the special provision in there that it's a fine if it does, and that's the thing that's a slight modification here, because they have regular events months out in advance. They know they're gonna do a check-in process with the chief, because, you know, if he knows a month in advance of the events they're gonna have, he can, you know, his command staff can go ahead and put on the calendar extra people as needed, and they know it. So I'm gonna watch it real careful though, because you don't want people.
All right, well, this is the reason why I had a question about this. There are no city streets involved in this, so
Right.
they're not on public property. Why are we having to do this?
Because their alcohol license would not let them go outside. You know, in other words, they can serve alcohol on their back patio because they've got a gate, but they can't walk from, say, one building to the next with a drink. And yet you're gonna have an outdoor concert out there, which is what they proposed when they originally planned on it.
Well, and the big issue here is next month, this international
International
symposium is
music.
gonna be here.
Right,
It's gonna be programmed out there the whole week.
okay.
And we've seen signs.
I mean, I just didn't understand it because it was, I didn't see any public property involved, so I just.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like motion, Dan, second, all the favor, say aye.
Ah,
That's what I have for you. I have no executive session on.
That's good. All right, Mr. Trotter.
Yes, I have one thing, item, Brian Robinson, requesting 25-foot side yard setback there in Article 619, to add an addition to the existing building, 8.5. North Christian, they purchased Bob commercial building.
Yeah.
They still need more room, but it's gonna be, you won't be up to the property line, it's still gonna be about 120, 130 feet from the Bob commercial building, which you own already, so. I think Josh did some drainage plans on it. I would think it's an issue.
is this in between those two lots?
Yeah, it's in between Bob commercial.
Okay,
This is all.
You just need a
Yeah,
motion.
just for publication.
To advertise.
Kurt made the motion, Dan second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I would like to, address, also, remember we talked about someone to replace attorney, not attorney, AJ Moore
Yes,
on the planning commission.
yes, ma'am.
I have a recommendation.
Okay. All right.
I can give it to you there.
Get it with, yes, ma'am, get it to.
Okay, his name is Ted Blocker,
Yes, ma'am.
and I have confirmed his address and everything.
His name came up and I asked
Oh,
him about
really?
his address.
Okay, yeah, he's on,
You confirm his
Cross,
address?
yes, he's
Okay.
on Cross Street.
Okay.
Okay, moving right along here. Community development, and
Yes, I need to approve the lowest and best bid for community development office repairs from 2021 when we had the flood in the building. And we got approved on budget session. I just got it with the contract. Lowest and best bid.
Robert made the motion.
second.
Gary second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Y'all have on my.
Well, Billy, I know, you've sent out letters, I guess to some of the rental property owners
Yes, sir.
about inspection, so I started getting phone calls, and the concern is that everybody has to go through the inspection so that there's a level playing field. I know you're gonna do that, but just wanted to point that out, which
Yes, sir. Danny, the mayor, and myself had this conversation. I talked to some owners, they wanted to know about everybody. Last year, the year before, it got away, but I'm getting back on track with it. And I don't crying, but
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna work through it and get it done, but yeah, we already talked about it in the staff.
It's not an imposing thing, it's for people's safety.
that's right.
But
without the inspection, you have the ability basically to put the water in your name and then hot move tenants in that's never inspected for
Well,
occupancy. and that's
the
what you're
concern
going
was
for.
not the inspection, it's that everybody has to.
Everybody has to.
Needs to be a level play.
Right, and we need to make sure this doesn't happen like the situation we have in these. in my ward. So that inspection will be, for everybody's inspected.
Okay. All right, let's get to this problem. Anna? go ahead.
Anna is not with us,
Okay.
this evening, but she did not have anything other than her report.
She's gonna have something for St. Patrick's, so.
She
Anna has
is.
Something all back.
She said in the department head meeting, she said that the boat, buses from the boats are coming almost weekly now, so she has quite
Next week.
a traffic flow coming.
Vikings on, they're on the way.
Mhm.
I saw a picture like they stopped it.
They stopped and look. Huge. Yeah, people, it's, we've got to learn how to catch. They have small routes on their boat, but our merchants don't have to learn how to, we can shift you something, but. Whatever, yeah, weekly, so. We just have so many things, this international symposium is just
a question.
unbelievable.
With the parking lot behind the arcade, or whatever, be a possible place to park. This is just.
Commerce Avenue parking
yeah,
lot,
Yeah, yeah.
Virgin Alley. Mhm.
What are we parking buses for?
The people come in.
From the
They
boats.
go from. the
I thought they
Grammy Museum.
moved. Those buses moved the whole time they're here.
Yeah.
They never
Those
reparked.
two.
Yeah, mostly, it's
Mhm.
Grammy Museum.
Mhm,
And then they.
Let them off down here.
Okay,
mhm.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't know if they could let, use that parking.
Yeah, we would be
sure.
more than happy to. Yeah. That is our property, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can let them know.
I know one thing in Anna's report, if you read it, it said we had a great February. I've been on this board a long time. I ain't never heard anybody have a great February. at the
February.
Railroad Museum. That's amazing.
She really does a lot.
And I saw part of the Mardi Gras parade.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, had a jazz band. Also.
Mhm.
Okay, Dudley,
Y'all have my report.
so good when he has very little. Great job in that trip. You got questions, Dudley? Okay,
Good job.
Greg,
Appreciate it.
Only thing I want to do is remind everybody about Go Green Weekend.
April,
April 1st. Pretty good. I made a mistake on March 1st. And we dropped the tanks this morning, north of town, and all the residents are all safe. All the breaks should be over. On the 14th, all the merchandise. Pretty good.
Just as a public relation, this report from the police, very hot. Is there any way to share that with public? I mean, this, the numbers are, but
yeah, we can get a start. Be more than happy to share it over, Dudley. Proud to share.
I agree with Kirk, but it's still to people who've never seen it, the number looks big. You know, if you just,
Well,
I know, it's amazing. And then it's amazing.
Yeah, but it's
I'm
all,
talking about the drop.
Percentage.
yeah,
Yeah,
120 to 60.
yeah.
Michelle and Dudley can come
I
up with
I think
something.
I would want to get with Dudley to see what
Yeah, I think.
we're allowed to
But do
share.
it like Kirk, just, he's saying, do a percentage decrease.
Mhm.
And you don't have to say numbers.
Right.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Greg, anything else?
no, sir.
Okay. Jamie is out today, is she not?
Yes, sir. She's out.
I want y'all to mark your calendars for Thursday, April 14th. At 4 o'clock, we're gonna have a ribbon cutting at the animal shelter, and y'all know Mr. Tribble was so generous and got so much money. James, real source of pride for her. He's making that 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday, April 14th.
Yeah, they're gonna have dog treats to eat.
I beg your pardon, the 13th, y'all.
They're gonna have dog treats to eat.
Okay. Now I've got it all. Thank you, 13th, y'all. Okay. All right. Hunter,
I'll have my month report.
Hunter, you may want to mention that, they're almost through, ceasefire is almost through, so we may be able to get back to normal work. Big part,
They get one this afternoon, my guy.
Okay. knock on wood. But they're close to finishing. They have a lot of makeup to come back. and do.
When are they gonna start that?
Well, you know, I asked that question, the guy started laughing. He said, when are you gonna tell me what the weather's gonna be? And I said, well, I can't tell you. They're really,
He's been responsive
they have
though.
been so responsive.
Uh,
It's kind of like the yard size. You know.
It's so important.
We are, and
Helping businesses,
and they're so professional, but they say, if you bear with me,
saving money.
when it's, when it's mud out there, it's not gonna look like I've got it done, but they have assured us in my,
Yeah.
they're very forthcoming.
And I can say here at City Hall, we've got fiber. Well, across the city, we've got fiber. And when other services have gone down, we have not. And so I feel like when we can get through the growing pains of it,
Well,
it's going to be a good thing.
We got some cleanup to do.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's a fact.
Okay.
Something to say. I shared with Miss Michelle a picture of a pothole, I think you shared with Steve too. Which is on North
That's under
Street.
Steve-O's
It is a
section.
leak, I thought the water draining today. So have we been able to look at that and see what's going on?
Yes, ma'am, it's on the schedule to do. I'm trying to get caught up on the older stuff, but we have to set aside the seven stuff. They put a really good plan.
Did you let me know when,
Hey, look at it tonight.
you did? Thank you. The Steve said he was talking the water. Thank you.
All right. Speaking of Steve, you up?
Y'all have my monthly report. Unless I have any questions.
Good job. Clint?
Good evening, everyone. I've only got one thing on the agenda tonight. You should see in your packet a request from Ceasefire to run a fiber line from Airport Terminal Road over to the corner of Air Repairs Building. They've, I guess, come at us with this request. It's the shortest distance to run this line. It's going to go underneath the taxiway and the ramp area. There's no utilities in the way, so it should be a pretty straight shot for them. But since it is city property, they need our permission. And also, since they're going to be working in an air operations area, they will have to fill out FAA 7460 form, which will be, I guess, final approval by the FAA. But we just wanted to bring that to the board tonight for approval.
No cost to the city.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. Go ahead. I want to ask a question after you get through.
Comes from the airport terminal road, it's gonna go underneath all the taxi.
So is it already out there, Kurt?
It's on terminal road, I think.
It's on the road that goes to his building.
Yes.
Okay, I got you. I understand that.
I have a question, and maybe for John, is all that property, inside the city limits?
Right here, yes, at that location.
What about the terminal and all buildings? Up there?
No, it's
None of that's in the city.
not when you get, no, it's not all, when you get going north, city limits, pretty much, a lot of the buildings. Not currently located.
So we don't technically have.
We hadn't
control
voted.
over what's built there, then that just be a legal issue.
Well, you own the ground, but
What about the vacant land that runs alongside the road?
So that's not owned by the city on the east side, that's the northeast side.
Oh, geez.
I would ask them for consideration there, to be studied on that, how really, you know, we have zoning issues, we have building permit, yeah. What type of business goes on that road? Go further north, yeah. And we talked about the airport commission. I wanted Josh to clean this up, but it's important. Yeah. I talked to John. Farm. I think he's forward, yeah. He just needs to work the vacant land, but it is inside the city. I would recommend you study that.
Back to the motion and second, all in favor of signify. All right, is that all clear?
That's everything I have.
Okay, thanks. Jason?
I don't have anything outside of my report unless y'all have anything for me.
Jason, would you quickly run over what you told us in department head this morning?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we did in February, we did host 2 baseball pitching clinics for ages 9 through 18. We held that on February 13th and the 16th. We had Tanner Pross. He's a 2-year guy in the Colorado Rockies organization in the minor leagues, and we had Hunter Riggins, which he is just entering I think his 2nd year with the Braves organization. So they put that on for us. It was a really good camp. We actually did an adult 3-on-3 basketball tournament on February 21st at the Park Commission gym. I think we had maybe 4 or 5 teams with that. They called their own fouls, had no issues. Everybody had a great time in there.
I know that went well.
It actually went pretty well. I was surprised, but so we'll probably have another one of those pretty soon. I tried to get Robert Sanders a team in there, but I guess he declined my offer on that. So we had a parents' night out February 24th at the gym. The Boy Scouts hosted a Pinewood Derby races at the Park Commission gym on the 18th and the 19th. Right now we have baseball and softball registrations going on. That'll end at the end of this week. We'll start drafts on March 20th and start our season the 2nd week of April. And then in March this month as well, we're going to have our 2nd annual Kids Power Wheel Derby race out at Bearfield.
I won't
Got a
go.
lot going on right now.
There's a lot going on. Okay, Michelle?
The only thing that I have is I need approval of the fiscal year 2022 budget amendments. These are the year-end amendments that we make to make sure that no categories on the budget are in the negative. Just cleans everything up.
So moved.
Here, no motion. Brian second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that all?
That's it. Yes, sir.
Okay, Heather? Robert, Brian, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Robert?
Yeah, I just want to commend my business, I thank you all for coming.
What about this?
Both of them, but I wanted to say this. Dan and I
The
talked
Makata?
about it. Yeah.
It was taken on.
You can't hear us.
Then she moving to
Dan,
Renault.
up here. Punching in.
I was asking a question.
Well, he's talking.
And the reason I'm saying, I didn't mean to talk
That's
about it.
all
I want you to hear this because you brought it up. You know, Billy can say that to you. I'm not gonna say it. in business.
He can be that way. I
Okay.
know.
But it was mentioned about those signs, how clustered we are now, and the signs are out before election time. And if you notice, I mean, these signs are everywhere. I mean, there's none, where the sign shouldn't be displaced. I mean, it's close to the street now than the other. So Dan and I talked briefly about it, and I'm gonna let him give us, the board, some of the things that he came up with. We can look
All right, well, what y'all did when y'all adopted your sign ordinance in 2017, part of kind of a package when you were going Unicode. Not long after that, the US Supreme Court did a ruling that really gives a problem to your sign. In other words, if you've got to read what a sign says in order to decide whether or not it meets your regulation or not, it's probably not going to pass a First Amendment strict scrutiny challenge. And because your ordinance basically says 90 days campaign, it's got a problem. Now there's a fix. The fix is probably not going to be something that you be able to fix in this campaign cycle, but there's a fix. You can do things like temporary signs. They have to be of a certain size and a certain distance, and your existing ordinance has most of that. You've got to take, but you would have to take out some of the language in there about campaigns, which is really going to water down the effectiveness of it. I don't know that it's going to make you a lot of difference. Last campaign cycle, some couple of suits were filed against a couple of municipalities and things like that. Because if you restrict totally based on this kind of sign for a campaign, it's just not going to fly. So you're going to have to make some changes, and it's not going to fix your problem during this campaign cycle.
Can I talk now?
Yes, you can talk now.
Okay. The only thing I have a problem with is where you have signs in public places where it's not somebody giving them permission. For instance, there's one on the boulevard right over here on that street that goes behind this row of buildings.
No, that's
I
not,
mean-
that's not valid because that's not a campaign sign, that's a sign.
No,
You
it's a
gotta read the
campaign sign.
I know what I'm telling you is you don't have to read the sign to know that it doesn't belong there.
That's
It's
right.
just a sign.
That's right.
But if it's a campaign sign, that's a different thing. I mean, campaign sign on private property is a little bit different.
I don't have a problem with private property because somebody's giving you permission. This is city streets.
Not entitled to do it.
Well.
That's what I'm saying. Can we pull them up?
We pulled campaign signs up last week, and the one that was on the right of way, that some of them, like Danny said, we have to move them back, but other signs that was like down on North Street, red light or whatever, we pulled them there at the office.
Yeah.
Did that last
I
week.
would hold on to them because they're gonna come by.
Yeah.
Threaten July.
Well,
The chief wants to say something.
Everyone-
We pulled some off the telephone.
Good. It's almost $50,000. Yeah, just hold on because people really get bent out of shape about this.
there's no,
Not go anybody's yard for sure.
No, I'm not, on private property, I understand, but if they clutter up our public streets, that's gonna look
Yeah,
really
well,
tacky.
it sounds like y'all are on it. Just continue doing that.
there's no difference between a yard sale sign and a campaign sign if it's on public property. It don't go there. Private property is different. That's
Okay.
Okay, and I understand what we're saying, but how do we get that message out to these people that are campaigning? That, okay, the signs need to be this size and it needs to be in these areas and can't clutter our street. Maybe next time when we talk to the election commissioners or whomever, and that needs to be a part of that paperwork, that package.
Right.
Just like we get when we are campaigning, maybe we just need to ask them to add that as part of their paperwork.
We
Then
don't
can
have any
eliminate
deal with
some of
it.
that.
We don't have anything to do with this people.
Right.
I understand. I'm just saying, maybe in the future.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have anything. Just say.
All right. Yeah.
Yes, I have I was confronted with a small group that was complaining about the West Lawn Cemetery. What's happening now, there are several tombstones around there that are being vandalized. The gate stay open, the two gates on the north end, they are open all the time, and anybody can walk in there and do what they want to do. I talked with one lady where someone had went in and had taken her daughter's picture off the tombstone and just left a big hole there. And she was concerned about what can the city do? Can we assure
We
them
lock the
that
gates.
what the gate?
We lock the gates every night.
Like that.
Okay, the gates,
we should have a opening time and a closing time, but as of now, I don't think the gates, are they being locked at a certain time, or are they open at a certain
That's
time?
that. like it.
Six, I believe 6 people.
Yeah,
And unlocked in the morning.
it
I,
was-
I can tell you North Cleveland wasn't locked the other night when I went home, and it was about 10 o'clock at night. So,
That'd be easy people. But if
That's it, I wanted to mention that, because they were coming up with.
No, I was just looking at Billy's report today, and it's really, I mean, it's great to see we're not even hardly into this year, and we got $6 million worth of new construction inside the city limits, and we still got a bunch of stuff going on. So it's,
yeah, and it's just the tip of the iceberg is fixing to really bust loose. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Good stuff. Right. Okay.
I have a question for Jason and then a comment. Jason,
Yes, sir.
are you still on? Is your park commission board, advisory board still active?
It is not active, and that's something that I need probably to get with you guys about, because I've got people who have moved away. I've got people who have texted me and don't want to be on the board anymore. So I don't know if we want to go through the same process and every one of the aldermen send me somebody, or I can go out and put a board together myself with people that I know that are active with the park commission.
Would it be in order first to let us know who's off, who wants to get off, who wants to stay?
I can get that and send that out tomorrow. Yes.
That's fine.
Thank you. The next thing I want to mention, I've been lucky enough to help with Delta Deep Roots, and our restaurant owners are telling Trish how well this is working. Trish was from out of town, and the restaurant owners are telling us that how well they do in the music this place. Yeah. And, so it's working.
I'm glad you brought that up. You know, it's just like all the boats, you heard the Boston Kirk fixing to come, and this big international symposium is gonna have 300 or 400 people from other countries and all. Cleveland, and I'm gonna have to give the credit to the city, because Cleveland, we're actually doing every one of these things ourselves, our people. It's April 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Yeah.
And, anyway, it's our department head meetings are seamless. Everybody just wants to do the best they can to make things better. The only thing I've got another day, we will mark it on Saturday, April 22nd. Todd Cooley, he's got 100 football guys that are going to help clean the town up. And I've got Jason, they're gonna do stuff at the park. And Steve O, product, we'll all be working together, getting some ditches where we can. Yeah, but 100 of these folks working even half a day can get a whole lot of work done. So, and I've had something happen the last couple of weeks. I noteworthy to me, because it's been so much, I've been around here so long. But I'm 2 different times, but 2 weeks ago, I met a group of ladies, and one of them used to be from Cleveland and used to be mayor, and they had a ladies trip here about 2 weeks ago. And this lady said, I've never been to Cleveland, but I've never been to a cleaner town in Cleveland. And that's a real source of pride with me, because we need to take that to heart. Now, we could drive around and see some areas you wouldn't have thought that on necessarily, but you know, we got so many people volunteering and trying to do so much. We're really lucky to have all the great things that we have going on. That's all I got.
Let me ask you something, Mayor, for the 22nd, and we can share this date in our community, and we want.
Yeah, if you know it, get with Jason or get with somebody, if you know, you can't go on private property, but if you know the ditches or something inside the town, like that, what happens? They grow up in grass, and all the paper companies.
But I'm just saying to get some volunteers.
Get all the volunteers, we'll find places for them to work.
well, and Mayor, the following weekend is
Yeah,
Earth Day.
29th, Steve,
Yes, sir.
is Earth Day, and that's our big day where you can take paint, tires and all that out. So April, we need to put a big push. In fact, I told Dudley this morning, I said, when the officers are doing their routes, if they want to go to the store or something, get a Pepsi or RC, whatever they get, They see something on the ground, tell them to pick it up, throw it away. So it doesn't hurt any of us to try to make our place a better place. And also I had talked to Billy Trotter today. A lot of times the hotel and restaurants and stuff will have functions on the weekend. And so if you drive down here on Sunday morning, it's see a lot of beer cans. So we're gonna go around to these places and ask them if they will help clean up the mess that they had made the night before. It gets cleaned up on Monday, but we have a lot of people.
They need to help.
Everybody needs to help with the cleanup, not just for 1 or 2 people, do it for all of them. All right, well, that's all.
That's like.
Kurt, Danny, all in favor, say aye.